White silence of the wilderness, Miriam's mirror. The desert sun beat down on the tents of Israel, but a colder shadow loomed within the hearts of its leaders. News that Moses had taken a Cushite wife rippled through the camp like a disturbing wind. Miriam, the elder sister who had once watched over Moses in the Nile, felt a sting of resentment. She beckoned Aaron to the shade of a heavy linen curtain. "Has the Almighty spoken only through Moses?" she whispered, her voice sharp with years of shared burden and newfound jealousy. "Has he not spoken through us as well?" In the quiet of the wilderness, the seed of rebellion against divine order began to take root, fueled by a pride that forgot the source of its own light. Suddenly, the pillar of cloud descended, a weight of glory that anchored itself at the entrance of the tabernacle. The voice of God broke through the stillness, heavier than a mountain. He summoned the siblings into the presence of the one who sees the heart. While Moses stood in a silence that mirrored the vast desert, a humility greater than any man on earth, the Lord's rebuke fell like fire. He spoke of Moses' faithfulness, of a servant who beheld the very form of God. "Why then," the voice echoed, "were you not afraid to speak against my servant?" Miriam felt her certainty shatter. The brother she had judged stood before her, not as a rival, but as a man shielded by the hand of the infinite. As the cloud lifted from the tabernacle, a horrific gasp escaped Aaron's lips. The sister who had stood so tall just moments ago was now draped in a terrifying pallor. Her skin had turned as white as snow, marked by a scale that spoke of spiritual decay made manifest. The leprosy was not just a physical ailment, it was the visible weight of her transgression against the holy. Miriam looked down at her hands, her breath catching in a throat constricted by terror. Aaron turned toward her, his face pale with a different kind of fear. The hierarchy they had challenged was gone. In its place was only the desperate need for mercy before a sister was consumed by her own pride. Seeing his sister's ruin, Moses did not feel the triumph of the vindicated. Instead, a deep, aching sorrow flooded his soul. He who had been the target of her accusations now became her only hope. Moses fell to his knees, his voice cracking as it rose toward the heavens in a desperate plea. "Oh God, I beg you, heal her now." There was no bitterness in his prayer, no reminder of her insults. Aaron crouched beside him, clutching at his brother's robe, confessing their foolishness through silent tears. In that moment, the true nature of Moses' leadership was revealed, not in his power to command, but in his capacity to love those who had sought to tear him down. The judgment was tempered with grace, yet justice required a season of reflection. For 7 days, Miriam was cast out beyond the camp, stripped of her titles and her place among the people. In the lonely silence of the desert edge, she confronted the mirror of her own soul. Yet, the nation did not move. Thousands waited in a sacred pause, refusing to journey onward until the one who was lost was found again. When the week ended, it was Moses who walked out to meet the restored woman. Miriam returned not with the fire of jealousy, but with the quiet strength of the humbled. The siblings stepped back into the camp together, their bond forged anew in the fires of forgiveness.